Hey, good evening. Welcome to a foreigner in the Philippines. Well, we've been posting a few on Facebook and doing some videos of the program that we've been doing to help kids with their education. We've been involved in many different programs for feeding kids, for doing other help programs, projects, but the idea of helping with education is one that has attracted us a great deal, because in many ways the hardship that children face, youngsters face in the Philippines, their education can be affected just by the sheer hardship of survival. And so Beth and I thought about this a great deal, and we decided that we would try to instigate a program which would help children to get over those initial hardships. Now, this can be done for a very modest amount as far as dollars go, and as you probably know, on all of our videos right now, we do not solicit for funds. So whatever you may hear in the few minutes that I'm going to be doing this video is not with the intention of soliciting funds, because we're still involved in paperwork on that. This is just telling you how things have evolved. And it started off with just a couple that we had been helping some children just to have some food, and so we've been giving a modest amount, and we found that there were other youngsters who were doing very, very well, and we knew these kids personally, so we were able to talk to them and say, can we see your grades? And that's how it kind of started like that. Started with the food, and then then we decided that we would try to raise money so that we could help kids through the struggling part of getting an education. Now, Beth was very experienced in this, because she left home when she was about 14, I think, and she went over to Cebu, and she lived with her brother. She had two brothers who were living in Cebu, and she had the help of both. And so with her experience for what it would cost and what it would take, we devised a very simple, very low budget program, and it has borne a great deal of fruit for us, in that we always feel, and it's really part of our mission statement, that we are paying forward. We are paying things forward, because Beth thinks that she believes that she was helped by people who stood to gain nothing. And this was when she needed it the most. And so now we feel that by helping kids get through an education and graduate from college, that's the push. If we can get kids to graduate from college. Now, at first we only gave to children who had very high marks, so they were up in the 80s and the 90s for their scores, for their marks. And we would ask to see kids here, exactly the same as in the UK, in the US, they get their grade cards, and we were able to ask to see that. And when we did that, and we felt that the child had a focus on getting a good education, we would make a judgment just based on our own gut reaction as to how the child responded, and and we gave an allowance. Well, because of the interest that's been shown just in the comments, we always put some still pictures of our meetings, and we always put those on Facebook, and that has attracted attention via the comments on Facebook. And so that's what prompted me to talk about the program, just for people's interest. Now, we don't just give money. What we do is we have a condition, and what we insist is that they will come and take part in a meeting, one meeting a month. Then they'll get their allowance during that time, and we ask them to take part in games, in role model playing. We have a social worker, a trained qualified social worker, who comes and who leads various activities, and they get to do things which will pull them out of themselves. Now, why do I say pull them out of themselves? Because in the Philippines, what seems at first to any foreigner to be a very charming shyness, we found is only a setback. It may appear very charming at first if you're not involved in trying to get that child to come out of themselves and to learn to overcome that shyness. Now, in the East, it is a thing that humility is. I always used to say that in America, humility was a 4-letter word. That's because children there are extremely confident. In fact, I think that in polls, American kids are the most confident. They come number one in confidence. They don't come number one in education. That can be quite low down, as can be the case, I think, in the UK. But certainly as far as confidence goes, they are extremely confident, and that's bred into them, you know. So, and certainly in the Philippines this is not the case, and children tend to be extremely reserved, very shy, lots of covering the face, lots of turning away, lots of covering the mouth, all of these indications, body language of being extremely shy. We try to get them to come out of that, and we do that by asking them to get up and speak to their group. Now, this has become a group of 23 because we have 23 students who are being supported now, and they're all at various different stages. We even have one nice. Her name is Nice, and she is going to be actually graduating. She's been taking law. Let me see, what do they call it here? I think she will go into criminology. That's how they view the degree here, is in criminology, and that's what she's been taking, and that's what she's interested in becoming employed in. So she's going to be graduating in, let me see, either March or April. So it's coming up very soon, and we're going to celebrate that with a special party for Nice. And so we find this extremely rewarding, to see kids coming out of themselves. And whether you know it or not, public speaking, which speaking to any gathering of people is public speaking. It may not be talking to thousands, and it may not be a paid professional speaker. Nevertheless, the degree of nerves which Westerners would feel even in America with their confidence and everything, it's still an extremely tense thing. But it requires stepping up and finding some of your inner resources, finding courage within yourself to be able to do this. And we try to push them to doing that. The way that we do that is we emphasize that everybody in the group is just hoping, praying that everyone else in the group will succeed. When one succeeds, we all succeed, and we try to get that instilled into the kids, so that when they get up to talk about anything that they want to talk, some aspect of themselves, what they're interested in, what they've been doing, anything like this, that they can get up and talk in front of a group of their peers. That's very important. We also have taken them out on some outings where they get to bond together. We meet at the church. Now, just as this might be a question that people might have, do we require them to be a member of the church? No, we don't. We are Christian based, but we are non-denominational. And there are people within the group, there are students within the group who we are supporting and who are members of that group, who are of different religious base. Some, I think that we have a Mormon, and we have well, I don't know whether you know it, but there are something like over 30,000 different religious denominations who all regard themselves as being Christian. So we're Christian based, and no matter which church you go to, we hope that you'll come and join us at the church that we're building at the moment. But it's not a requirement. There are no requirements other than that you attend one meeting per month, and for if we feel that there's, say, something for students, for Christian youth, and they're having a special meeting, we will ask that our students will join in on that, and we usually get them there as well in my truck. So I wanted only to share with you some of the information about how we are doing our education support program. Someone said that they didn't know that we were doing that, and I guess that they must be fairly recent to our channel in order that they would not know that, because we always put even on Facebook, we always put still shots, as I'm going to get Beth to do for this video, so that you are able to see shots of some of the get-togethers that we have. Lots of interesting human interest story shots. When we first got together with the first basic group of about, about 15, we had some very touching moments where children shared the challenges that they were going through in their lives. Boy, there are some brave kids out there, and we're very proud of all of the students that we have on our program. Thanks for looking in, thanks for being interested, hope you enjoyed it. Bye for now.